Okay, hello everyone. Um, I will try, this is spoiler alert, I will try to do this with a dry eye, if you know what I mean. This is one of those topics, um, and I'll tell you what started me thinking about this is, I'm probably like all of you, you're going through a lot of videos that people make on YouTube, and somebody I found that I think is just a great person. I mean, I don't know her, but just what you can tell from her videos. Her name's Sarah, S-A-R-A. She's out of I'm pretty sure it's the UK. Um, but she has a channel called Agony, A-G-O-N-Y, Audie, A-U-T-I-E, and I'll make a link to it, and I'll make a link specifically to the video that I'm referring to. And this one was called Can Past Trauma Cause Autism? And I'll let you see her video on that. This is what it. Uh, when I saw this at work, I was on a break and a lunch break, and I've got I don't know what it is. It's one thing I'm going to talk to the counselor about, but I've got I don't know what else to call it, but like a place in me or an emotion or but anyway, it's like a part of me that's grieving, or a part of me that it comes out sometimes when I mean it can just like turn on, and it's just a soul felt anguish, a level of it's just like all the pain of 59 years. It seems to be sort of coming out of the source, whatever it is. I can't really define it. It's usually with issues like this that touch on something, I guess, of course, of sadness. I don't cry like that when I'm happy, but anyway, this is one of those moments, one of those things, and that video really touched me deeply, and I want you to watch it. I want you to watch all of her videos. Actually, you'll get a lot from her. Um, this is what I wrote. These are notes to myself, by the way. I said, we all have, I did say this, we are all unique, but it's probably a safe bet that most of us have our own trail of tears. As we rediscover our autism, this part of our life also needs to be explored and understood from our autistic perspective. Sadly, some of our best autistic attributes and qualities have also made us vulnerable to crippling misunderstandings and abuse. I believe our ASD journey is as much for healing as it is enlightenment and understanding. We must confront the child of our past with the autistic insights we now have. Make peace with our past as much as possible so we can move on. There is so much we have carried from our past with the sincere question of why. We can now put much of this in proper perspective and move on to the peace we have sought and desired for so long. Okay, I made notes to that. I said, many of us, if not all, even in the best of circumstances, had to cope with circumstances unique to autism. What I'm trying to say there is that, I mean, it was different for everyone. Some people it was hell. Some people, hell would have been the nice place to go to. you know? Um, but I think it's fair to say that everyone who is autistic has had, as I said, to cope with circumstances unique to autism. Now, it's in my opinion, I say that to really heal from our past, to fully embrace our autism, we need to examine all of our past from our new autistic perspective. Um, for me, it changes everything. I mean, it's funny how, I mean, it's literally, well, I'll give an analogy. I got enough time, I can do an analogy. Einstein, there's a book that he wrote for The Simpleton, believe it or not. And that's the one I read, of course. But he was talking about the theory of relativity. And something an example he gave that just absolutely changed, it was a change in life for me, where he talks about the fact, he said, there is more than one reality happening. Oh, it scared me. There's more than one reality happening at any moment. And he gave the example of a person on a train going down the tracks, and they take a ball and they drop it out the window. And I say, watch that ball, it drops straight down. Right? I mean, now the person that's not on the train, that's watching this train go by, when he sees that ball drops, they see it fall in an arc. It's just it told me something about, it was very profound for me, was that there are more than one realities happening at the same time, and if we really truly take that into our heads, it will give us a perspective of more patience. Well, and I bring this up because to me, seeing this from an autistic perspective is like seeing it from the train or from the ground as that ball drops instead of what we're used to. And that's why I say I think it's very important that we go through all this and look at it again from that new perspective, because it does change things. It does change things. And even though we think we can't change the past, from this perspective and this different reality, it might. I don't mean that it's going to change it in the sense it's not, things are not going to happen, but it's going to be able to change that moment in time, or our memory of it. And I think our memories are part of that moment. I mean, I don't think they're inseparable. Anyway, off on a tangent. Um, we were more vulnerable as children. We're more vulnerable as adults. And honestly, those traits that make us vulnerable, I see as gifts, and I'm grateful for. Now, um, I'm laughing because, that's with the exception of maybe this, and this. I mean, I'm thinking of things like relationships and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I'm embracing all of those qualities of autism because it is me, and in a way, I would say I was learning to love myself for who I was, even when I didn't know I was autistic. And now that I can understand that person even better, myself even better, I can fully embrace it. I made a note here and I said, I believe that we're like trees. Trees that build every year on the year before, leaving rings of growth from our past forever at our core. Though we cannot change the past, we can put it in the past to the best of our abilities and put those energies into the present. Everyone has their trail of tears. I never want to forget them. That's not what I'm saying. But You know, I can even be a little more forgiving to other people who didn't know. Because at the time, you know, we see it in so many perspectives. Sometimes it's that we are bad people, sometimes that we're not worthy, et cetera, et cetera. And it's one of those things I think it helps change is when you realize that maybe people were acting in their what they thought was my best interest by telling me not to stim with my fingers or my hands or to rock or whatever I was doing. Maybe they thought that was for the best. I know the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but I think when you realize it wasn't all meant to be malicious, it wasn't, which I felt it was. It wasn't. And if those kind of corrections can be made to my thinking, it makes me a better person today and gives me a better outlook for my future. So anyway, that's my notes for to myself about our autistic trail of tears. I wish you all a good day. Thank you. Goodbye.